So I'm Marta, I'm 16 and I'm from Portugal. I think I started realizing about my weight and everything, and that's just, it became more noticeable that I had more weight than other kids when I was like 7 years old or something. But at the time, since I was a kid and everything, I was just like the same to me, it's fine. But around, I think it was third grade, my friends started realizing that I didn't exactly look like them. And sometimes they made some comments and everything. So that's when I started like realizing that taking like that difference that I had like as a negative thing. And I don't think my friends meant to be mean to me, it's just kids, but kids are honest, so they tell it like they see it. I don't know, then like a few years later, my dad suggested that I start seeing a nutritionist to see if I could lose some weight. And I was with her for about 2 years and I did lose some weight, but since I didn't really have like the proper motivation, I didn't really take it that seriously. But all of those years, like people just treated my weight as something negative and I was associated with something bad. So they didn't mean to do it. Like I know they didn't mean to do it, but I always felt it like that. So I've always been very self-conscious about my body, and last year it took a bad turn and I just stopped eating, which I think is about the worst thing that could happen. When I stopped eating, it was like gradual, I didn't even realize I was doing it. To me, it was normal. I was just like, oh, I'm just not that hungry anymore. I don't feel like eating that anymore. And it just started like, I started like eating less at meals and I started skipping some meals. And then like I would live like a full day with like a piece of bread or something. And I got really good at lying about it because I didn't think I was doing anything wrong, but I knew that if I told people the truth, they would get mad at me, but I was just like, I'm fine, I'm just not that hungry. So I got really good at lying about it, which, not great. But around last Christmas time, my mom realized that it was like really bad. And at first, since she was like scared and everything, we argued a lot. It was awful, really. But I just started seeing a therapist again. And since my therapist had gone through the same thing at my age, she was able to understand the reason why I did it and, how I felt about it. And since she had lived the same thing, she was able to like give me some like really helpful advice. And yeah, that was pretty much it. Nowadays, I still don't have like 2 meals a day every single time, but I am better and way more healthier, so. I think something that would have like really helped me to hear is that being overweight or having obesity or something is one trait in a whole person. It's one thing. It doesn't define you. You are much more than that. You're much more than like how your body looks and everything. You have like a brain, you have things you like, you have things you don't like, you have a whole personality. So your weight shouldn't affect that, and it shouldn't affect like the way you perceive yourself like as a whole. You're much more than that, so you should realize that. I'm here in Frankfurt today, and today we recorded another episode for the podcast, and it was really cool because first of all, I had never been like in a professional studio or anything, so it was a really cool experience. And I think this time around recording was much easier because first of all, I already chatted with the people before, and got to know them a bit. So I was much more comfortable. And since we were all together, I could first of all, I could see what people were doing, and it was like much more like a conversation than through a Teams meeting or a Zoom meeting because I didn't know the people. It was just the first meeting. I was really nervous because it was just like, okay, so in this whole meeting, I know one person and I'm going to be talking about one of my biggest insecurities, so it was really weird. But at the same time, I think it's really cool, and I think this project is really important. So I'm happy to be here.